Hey everybody, welcome back to Wiki Sports. This is Power Play, and we're joined, as always, by Chris Uminski. Chris, coming off a win for the Bruins, we're recording like 5 minutes after it ended. How you doing?
That is a dub. I'm feeling good. Even just outside of Bruins life, it's good. But as a Bruins fan, life is great right now.
Hey, that's good to hear. This is what I want to hear when I come on here. Everyone's saying that life is good, but yeah, especially as a Bruins fan, 6-2, a 2-1 lead. But last time we spoke, we covered game one. We missed game two, just scheduling is tough during the week. But I don't know if you have any comments on game two. We certainly don't have to spend a lot of time on it.
Game two was embarrassing, probably their worst game of the year. But hopefully that's just a fluke, and we're gonna move right on.
Right. And the Bruins literally did everything in their power to make it look like a fluke in this game. So taking me through it, Chris, what'd you see out there?
So these are the Bruins that I like to see. So first of all, like we've been dealing with no Patrice Bergeron. That's been a big storyline through this. Typically, we know. So I want to say first, before I talk about anything else, that I apologize to Patrice Bergeron for the things that I have been saying in public and in private about that he played in Montreal.
Yes. So yeah, let take us through that. What happened with the whole game in Montreal?
So the last game of the regular season in Montreal, Patrice, the whole squad was out there. Which last game of the regular season going into the playoffs, you have to ask yourself why. And like yeah, like get them ready for the playoffs, keep them conditioned. But specifically, like seeing Patrice Bergeron out there, and then he got hurt during the game. Like that was infuriating to me at the time as a Bruins fan. But like then it starts to come out. Well, he might be retiring. It's going to be his last game in playing in Quebec. And so like, okay, yeah, fine, but you didn't even grow up a Canadiens fan. He was a Nordiques fan, but then it came out recently that like he had a bunch of family there, and his dad has cancer. So like, all right, I'm gonna let it slide.
Yeah, once all the context comes out, it's a little hard to be too upset with him. And obviously, he's working, doing everything he can to be out there. It's just like an unfortunate situation.
Yeah, but but now that now means that we didn't have him for games. Well, I think games one, two, and three. And
Right.
now this game too. But the Bruins have shown that we don't rely on just one player to get a win. What is going to win the Bruins playoff games is our depth.
Right. Yeah. So who's kind of stood out in that regard? I think I know who, but who's kind of stood out, especially in this game in that regard?
In this game, well, through just these first few games of the first round, two guys have stood out to me. Taylor Hall, who I've this game has really stood out to me.
Yeah,
And
that's who I was.
I've
Yeah,
been
teasing
singing
about.
his praises since day one of Power Play on Wicked Good Sports.
Yeah, for real though. That was like one of the first things we talked about, right?
Yeah, yeah, that trade I think was episode one.
Yeah. So you've been day one for real in his
Yes,
corner.
yes, but then two, Tyler Bertuzzi. Tyler Bertuzzi has just been looking amazing through this first round. He's getting points. He's chippy. The last couple of games have been real chippy.
Yeah, the have.
Um, yeah, which that's a oh man, this game. Is there anything that Linus Ullmark cannot do?
Yeah, so we almost see him throwing hands. Would you want to give a little insight onto that? What your feelings are on it?
So yeah, so number one, Linus Ullmark's gonna get the Vesna, which like he makes saves, he scores goals. And now he's throwing hands with Matthew Kachuk, who's one of the toughest players in the game.
Mhm. And who is doing everything in his power to get the Bruins tilted in this series, it seems.
Oh yeah, yeah. Matthew Kachuk's a rat, and I love a rat. I love Matthew Kachuk as a player.
Right.
I
Yeah.
don't like playing against him, but as a hockey player, he's one of my all-time favorites. Um,
Right.
but yeah, he was getting a little bit chippy with Linus Olmark at the end, and that's sort of an unwritten rule in hockey is you don't go after the goalie. But it's not often that you see the goalie actually sticking up for himself. Linus Olmark got after him with his blocker. He got a 10-minute misconduct for that.
Yeah, there are like 3 minutes left in the game, and they're like, "All right, I guess he's done for today."
Yep, they tossed him. Swayman went in. But then and then he throws down the gloves and is ready to go. He actually, I think he got a punch to in with Kachuk. So that was a cool thing to see at the end. And then just the goal scoring, the offense in this game. It was a fun time.
Yeah, so really going into the third period, it was 2-1, and Florida played well in that second period. So didn't really know what was going to happen. What did the Bruins do to kind of take control and score? Obviously, at least one was an empty net, if not two.
The last one was an empty netter.
Yeah, but to really take control of it in the third, what kind of adjustments and moves did the Bruins make?
So a big problem just that the Bruins have had in general is just giving away the puck, and that's what cost us game two. We're just these terrible giveaways. But coming into the third period, they turned on the defensive game real good. Linus Olmark made a couple of really nice saves. Jake DeBrusk made a very good defensive move in our zone. And then once we got the puck out of our zone and into the offensive zone, just shooting, getting every opportunity we can, firing at the empty net when it was our turn. And just trying not to be as sloppy as we were and complacent as we were in the second period.
Right, and obviously it paid off very well. So seeing this matchup, I know obviously a lot of people in Bruins Nation, Boston's very dramatic. Always, everyone. I've been listening to sports radio the last couple of days to kind of prepare for our thing because I knew there was going to be a lot of drama there. But would you say that the kind of concerns are somewhat alleviated after this game?
Absolutely, 100%. 100%. Game two was a fluke. And these are the Bruins that are going to not only win the first round but go further than that.
Yeah. So should you predicted gentleman's sweep? It's on the table still. We'll have to see. But anything else you wanted to touch on in this one?
I guess just one more thing. NHL officiating needs to figure it out.
Seems to be always like officials in every league, just can't get it right.
There's just the last couple of days I had the pleasure of almost sort of pleasure of watching the Lightning Leafs game last night. And if there's one thing that game proved to me, it is that NHL officiating, they are doing everything in their power to help the Toronto Maple Leafs. Toronto Maple Leafs had no business winning that game last night. And it ultimately all came down to one disallowed goal that should have been allowed. And that is the general consensus of hockey fans everywhere outside of Toronto.
Of course. So you think what do you think the angle here for Toronto is? Why do you think the league's kind of you know, going to support them so much?
Well, number one, they are if the Dallas Cowboys are America's team, the Toronto Maple Leafs are Canada's team.
Right.
All league officiating is based in Toronto. If there's going to be a replay, it is in Toronto. And so that's always I will subscribe to that conspiracy theory. And it's in the league's best interest to keep a historical team like the Maple Leafs successful.
To at least help them get out of the first round.
Yeah, which is it's stupid. It's dumb. It's dumb. And
Yeah.
the goal that was disallowed last night, the almost exact same thing happened in game 3 of Panthers Bruins for I think the one goal that Florida got. And the goal was allowed. The goal was allowed. And then the same thing happens, Leafs Lightning. The Lightning scored a goal. Oh, nope, disallowed.
Yeah, you got to at least be consistent there.
Yes, and that's not the only problem that the NHL has with consistency as far as enforcing their own rules is concerned. Why do I have to ask what is a good goal? What constitutes goalie interference?
Hey, probably the same reason us NFL fans have to ask what the fuck a catch is.
What the catch, yeah. It's the exact same thing.
Yeah, so hopefully they'll figure it out. Probably not, but hopefully it won't impact, any particularly big moment in the playoffs. Knock on wood, of course. But
right.
Man,
that shouldn't be deciding playoff games.
Right. Yeah. No one likes to see that. All right, Chris, where can we find you online?
You can get me on Twitter. That's Chris_Uminski. I'm also on TikTok. That's just @ChrisUminski.
Yeah, so you'll follow him there. You can follow me on Twitter @TheFakeMar. That's BMARR. I'm there. I've said it till Twitter's gone. I will be there. I'm riding. I'm on the Titanic until it hits the bottom of the ocean. That's my mantra. I'm hearing the music at this point. The band's still playing, but it's the instruments are waterlogged. But anyways, follow us there. The channel, Look at Good Sports. Look for us everywhere. And other than that, Chris, thank you so much for your time.
All right, thank you, Brian.
We'll see you all in the next one.